we are focusing on the road sector. The government declared 2 years ago the year of roads, and then the year after also a year of roads. Last week, when the president reshuffled his government, he sent his minister for roads and highways home. He sent another minister to come and replace him, the works and housing minister, to become the roads minister. Already, the government has said it has done so much. There's a recent announcement that a contract has been given, or an amount of 150 million cedis rather has been released to patch potholes on roads in Ghana. I have seen some patching happening on the motorway. The MPP has also said that it has constructed more roads than any other government. Dr. Bawumia said that last week. They mentioned some 11,000 kilometers of road that they've constructed. So in studio tonight, a deputy minister for roads in the Mahama government is my guest. He is the MP for Wassa East. His name is Isaac Ejemens. Honorable, you're welcome to Point Blank.
Thank you, man.
How are you doing?
By God's grace, good. In the south?
I'm well. How is the constituency?
Not doing bad. It's good.
And Parliament?
Parliament's very good. You know, I'm now the ranking for roads and transport.
Oh, congratulations.
It's getting better.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
You know, when,
and you took over from Agboja?
Yeah, he was a chief whip. Okay. And I was deputy by then.
He was deputy. Ranking. He was a ranking. You were his deputy. So now that he's become whip,
yes,
you take over as nice. That means that so more grilling. Do you guys have like some committee works that you do where you have to move around and inspect things like the health committee does?
We do.
So what's the recent thing you've done, or what is the new thing you're going to do?
We actually haven't done. We have something in the pipeline, and we did a lot in the previous year. So we have on the pipeline. We have to be visiting some projects which will have to be approved or be sanctioned before we do. And pretty soon, I think in first week in March, we will be doing the inspections.
And will you be doing this as a joint caucus or just the NDC side?
It's always joint.
Okay. Because I noticed that on the health committee, sometimes they go on their own. The NDC side will leave, MPP may not follow. Works and housing, they do that sometimes. They go to Saglemi and all of those things. But you have consensus to go together.
But we may be going solo this time around if we don't get support of the other party.
Okay, I see. Let's talk about the road sector. So the government has said it has done more. In fact, the vice president said they've done more road projects than anybody else in the past. And this is in terms of kilometers. Having listened to him, what's your reaction?
Thank you so very much, Maro. And give the opportunity to, as usual, and as a ritual we always do, we want to, appreciate our cherished, listeners and those who have the opportunity to check on Facebook and the TV. We also want to, thank them for doing that. We've always been drumming this home that it can never be true that an Akufo-Addo government has constructed more roads than any other government. You remember when he came to Parliament, I think a year or so ago, and he said, open your eyes, shine your eyes, because I have constructed roads more than any other government. We came out, the NDC part came out and debunked it. We refused it. And they came with some explanation. And in fact, they came back to say that, yes, all those roads that is constructed are yet to be validated because we pushed them to the wall and we needed evidence. So all they said was that, okay, we have engaged a consultant to go into it and we validate it. As I speak to you now, they've not been able to validate that. But we have the records. And the indisputable source, incontrovertible source is the budget statement. That one, you can't lie. And in the budget statement, we've had that chronological study as to what is the performance of road sector by the various regimes or governments, right from President Rawlings, President Kufuor, Late Mills, Mahama, and Nana Akufo-Addo. Indeed, it's Nana Akufo-Addo who has the lowest performance
in roads,
in records, and we have all the paragraphs and pages, everything here.
So, which document is that in front of you?
These are documents I've compiled from.
Budget statements.
Budget statements.
Since 92.
Since 92. Okay. And in fact, if you check the details, it's only President Rawlings that constructed, when you talk about road construction, the details are there, 18,965 kilometers.
18,965, General Rawlings.
Yes, constructed. Then you come to President Mills and Mahama together. We are talking about 2 terms. And so they did about 15,000 kilometers. Okay. Now, followed by Kufuor, who did a little about 13,912 kilometers. So he's third. Nana Akufo-Addo in his second term, and it's about a few months to exit, he has performed 6,977 kilometers of roads. We are talking about roads that exist, that you can see, and that they have reported on. And he is the lowest. So we have issues about that. But where Bawumia is drawing his inspiration from is the report that they brought out to Parliament, and we challenged it. We said, give us evidence. And so the minister pushed the technocrats. You know, the technocrats are technocrats, they're professionals. And when they brought the result, what they said is that we are yet to validate it. And if the engineers tell you we are yet to validate it, know that it's not confirmed. As I speak to you now, it has not been validated. So what we take for truth is what we have in the budget statement. And that's what we're giving out. Indeed, what the records here, performance in urban roads, the performance in feeder roads, performance in highways, these are incontrovertible source and fact. And so it can never be true today and it cannot be true tomorrow. You see, you can't trust Bawumia because he has always been flip-flopping. You remember when he, prior to coming in, when Ghanaians gave it a nod, so we're not going to take any loans, we can just toll roads and we get money to toll our roads. Then he says, okay, we're going to concretize, to make concrete roads. They have not even a kilometer. And so, particularly in the road sector, it is a technical area and every fact must be checked and checked properly. So it is never true today and it's never true tomorrow. And that's the details that we've given. As we speak now, it is going into the history books that Nana Akufo-Addo is the only government, only president that has underperformed abysmally as far as road construction is
Even though there were 2 years of road.
You see, year road 2 years, year road 1, year road 2. And you ask,
and they've told us that they've done tremendous work.
Nothing to show. What are the evidence? What we know is that some of the roads that they target, the mega projects, they are now in standstill. And then it's happening because of this, the loan situation and the financial challenges and so on. But on record, it is clear that President Rawlings stands tall. And everybody can just go to check the budget statements. And I have all of them here. If you give them a few minutes, I can just tell the budget statement, this, paragraph that. They're all there. I've changed the document everywhere and in Parliament. And it can't be true. And Bawumia, you see, what they're saying is that if you grade road, if an earth road is graded, you are not constructing a road.
That's actually what I was going to ask. So when you say a road has been constructed, does it mean a new road that has been created where there was no road at all, or it means a road that has been upgraded?
So two issues are we call it rehabilitated. So there are occasions where new roads entirely, a new network will be created. And when you create that new network, you develop it and it is good. It stands in your favor. Where existing network is, we have already there, and you develop it, you rehabilitate it, you bring life into it, particularly if it is, earth road. So you grade it, you ram it. Yes, bitumenize it.
Okay.
It stands in your favor. Even if it is not even tarred, and you grade it, you put the gravels on it, and you do the drains and culvert and so on, it becomes road. And so that is what can get into your credit. But when an existing network, existing feeder road or earth road is there, gravel road, then you grade it, you have not constructed. Because when it rains...
But you've made it more trouble.
It is already more trouble, except that you are making it better.
So if it's better, it's for your record.
Because every year you have to grade it twice. So you grade it today, the next time you say I've graded again, I've considered road, the road is 50 kilometers earth road. Then you grade it. It's earth road, gravel road, you grade it. When the rain sets in, the road has gone bad again. And you go and grade it again. Have you constructed another road? No. So all we're saying is that when roads are rehabilitated and made bitumenized or put in a shape that has some permanency, then you can take the credit that you have constructed roads. What we have in here is that they included the gravel graded roads. That is graded twice or 3 times every year. And that is what they're saying. And so these roads do not feature in the data that we have in Parliament.
So the 6,000 roads you say that the President
6,977
Akufo-Addo government has done so far, it includes roads that have been bitumenized or
upgraded, asphalted, rehabilitated,
or newly created.
Exactly. Basically, most of these projects are.
But let's talk about physical things. So even here in Accra, we are seeing that they are doing the motorway. They are doing some work on it. They have just gone to clear the road from Adenta towards Somanya. They are fixing that. Can they count that? Again, we've seen asphalt roads around Ajingano, School Junction, Anakrom, those roads. You don't regard those roads? They are new roads.
We have 16 regions. And now, certified, validated road network is 70,402 kilometers. That is what is certified and validated. 78,402 kilometers. This is certified.
So that's the total network of road in Ghana.
And we have Ghana Highways Authority having a little over 14,000. Urban roads has a little over 15,000, and feeder roads has 48,000 over. They carry over 2/3 of our network. Huge network. Then you go to Accra here, 15, 20 kilometers. No, it will stand in the Accra. The road was already there. That network was already there, except that they are putting better life, good life into it. We are not taking away.
But when you were in power, you came to asphalt roads in cantonment and called it cocoa roads. It's not.
No, but that is not true. See, the point is that this propaganda. You go to urban centers, and Tema. Tema. There is this cocoa warehouse in there and so on. When you carry the cocoa from Sehuyo also Chimbasa and so on, you bring them to Takoradi. You take to the road. So, for instance, if you take some part of cocoa money and just develop the stretch that leads to the harbor, it makes sense, because if the road is not fixed, it cannot go there.
But cantonment doesn't go to the harbor.
That is not true. Nobody ever was able to validate, to certify that indeed that was true. They were part of the propaganda.
So all your cocoa road projects were in cocoa growing areas?
In the history of this country, the period that we have an enhanced and perfect super road, cocoa roads, was during the time of President Mahama. Why am I saying this? As we speak now, they made a lot of noise, and so we're going to get auditors into it. For instance, you remember the forensic audit and so on. As we speak now, we've not had any document before us that even shows that the 10 million Ghana cedis that they used to pay the consultant, we've seen it. As we speak now, cocoa roads have over 21 billion Ghana cedis of debt. That is the mess that we can find ourselves currently over 21 billion Ghana cedis debt. And as we speak now, the Ministry of Roads and Highways cannot even tell you how much is owed to contractors. And it's getting to the hundreds of billions. Because, there's this issue called payment on, interest on delayed payment. As soon as you pay the contractor, it triggers. And that alone, which is hidden, is huge. They reported that Road Fund, has a debt of 5.5 billion Ghana cedis. And highways are close to 3 billion, and urban roads are several. So, national, that's what they say, close to 15 billion Ghana, which is even more. And that's what I want to go in there. All I'm saying is that what President and the Vice President Baumia said, that they've consulted 11,675 kilometers, is untrue. They have not validated it. They should bring the evidence to prove it. Until then, what you have on records, validated, certified, is the 6,955 kilometers.
So it's possible that they have done 11,000, but they're yet to
It has not. When they brought the initial results to Parliament, about 40% of that chunk is gravel graded roads. And the engineers will tell you, when you grade roads, you cannot count them to be a constructed road. And say, okay, we'll come with validation. You'll come and validate it. As we speak now, you don't have any records to that. But day in and day out, all these roads go bad. Again, now all the potholes that we see in the system, you need to go back and get it developed and improved. So the road that you said you've constructed, they have gone bad again.
But they have so it's good you mentioned the patching. They have released 150 million cities to deal with patching, and we are seeing some of the patching happening on the motorway.
Patching, the motorway has been awarded on contract.
The patching or the construction?
But you give everything to and the patching has started.
Now they are patching. So I'm just saying that. What do you think of that idea?
The road is on contract. We've just awarded the contract to Maripoma, okay, and Maripoma is doing the work. The best thing you can do is you wouldn't block all the stretch. You will have to do the pothole patching and spot improvement and so on. That's what he's doing. But that is not the issue at stake. The issue at stake is that motorway is been awarded on contract. The contractor is working.
So let's take motorway out. Exactly. The 150 million for patching.
So do you want to believe that?
Yeah. Why should I doubt it?
They have always not spoken it. It is not true. You see, what they are saying is that they've released, and there's another term called received. So what I want, in the budget details, we see that allocation, released, and received. So it means that it is gone to Controller Accountant General. So I ask you, have they determined all those areas that we pothole patched? What they are saying is that, Omar, you know that as I did tell you, over a third of our road network are feeder roads, the remaining feeder roads. This 150, which is not even enough, is to handle urban and highways alone, only the city roads. So what are you doing with the village road that we have manholes and we have those roads to be graded? So if anybody is listening to me from Achibasa, from Atobiase, they will know that the road from Akutiase, Jinasi to Atobiase is not covered by the money that is released. But in any case, the other question, Umaru, is that where is this money coming from? We have ring-fenced, dedicated source fund called road fund. That is what we use for maintenance of our roads. And this pothole patching is basically, routine maintenance.
So pothole patching is a plan by the ministry, or is a regular thing by the Ministry of Roads?
It's a regular thing by the ministry. The network is there. So what is the basis of the distribution of the funds?
So this is where why would you decide to patch a road? What considerations go into that?
That's the point. The issue is that it's a routine thing. Half of pothole patching is very routine. In maintenance, we have two sections. You have periodic and routine. Periodic is the rehabilitation you're talking about. And the routine is the pothole patching, the grading, and the slashing of road and so on. That is basic. You see, this tells you, Maro.
But it's still significant. It means that there's an attention there on fixing potholes.
At the end of the year, you are reckoning close to 5 billion Ghana cedis from road fund alone. Then you release, you say first 150 million, when you owe contractors to the tune of 5 billion. What are you talking about? And it is basically in the cities, but a chunk of our road network in the rural areas. So this government has to be serious, and it's just firefighting, fire brigade work. Because you remember the latter part of last year, a lot of people, everybody was talking about road bad, and my road is bad, and so on. That tells you that the government is not performing, and so it's just a fire brigade, impulsive action. Let's do something. And in the history of this country, 150 million is devoted for pothole patching. The question is, how realistic will this be? Who is going to take charge? The contractors are not being paid, so they're not doing it. Are you going to give them the money for the debt they owe, or a new one? Are you going to bring in new contractors? This is our sham. I can show you. When in this history, in this country, that we brought in national security, national security, involved in pothole patching. And that tells you that the system has failed.
That's what they're doing?
Checking the details. They said the Spinters Road, the national security is getting themselves involved in pothole patching. So if pothole patching is not becoming an emergency, it's not becoming a crisis situation, that tells you how this government is not performing as road is concerned.
The motorway patching, though, concrete road being patched with bitumen, there are people who think that it is wrong. When you were in government, what was your approach? Did you also do that?
But we did the appropriate pothole patching. We did it.
How you poured bitumen in concrete?
It was a mix of it. Because along that line, we were getting into the phase of contracting it. And just the same exactly what we've done. So now the contractor is in Maripoma, the contractor who is on it now. But first of all, they have to, the contractor will have to allow mutability. And so, that's why they're doing pothole patching. You see that they're clearing the earth here and here and so on. So that is what he's doing. But basically, something is happening. What is happening to other regions? That is what you have to ask. The 150 million is inadequate. It is insufficient. And for me, I don't think it's true. So the ministry will have to come in. When did we get the media men in the ministry coming out to do politics with this? It cannot be true. In any case, how are we getting this route? Which region? How many of the regions are going to get benefit from this? And so on. So that cannot be true.
Dr. Bamia, when he gave his vision statement to Ghanaians, mentioned that henceforth, or in his government, the road sector will be funded by private sector. You've heard that. What's your comment?
The issue is that is PPP. They should tell me one single road that has been on PPP. It has never happened.
But he said he will make it happen.
Sorry?
He said he will make it happen.
It's procrastinating. Cannot trust this man. This man who told you he was going to concrete all roads, and he has not done a kilometer. Who has advised? He has been advising the government.
But he's going to float it to private sector people. If you want to construct a road, come and construct it, and then you pay for it.
The road sector, you want to talk to the professional. The road sector is a very technical area. You just don't say anything anyhow. Before you get into action, you must give the details, the research work, and the service appropriately. And that is where President Mahama stands tall. Because everything he did was calculated, was perfect, and was super. And that is why when he left office, the health of our road was about 74% motorability.
So for you, private sector-led road construction is not workable?
You can always involve the private people. The issue is that you must get the systems right. When people begin to talk, where has Baumia performed in his private sector stuff? Everywhere that you talk about the private sector, he's failed, but not in road sector. Road sector is so critical. An efficient road transport system is the precondition for economic development in any country. And therefore, if you mess up with it, that is why you have issues. If you mess up with this, that's a problem. So you don't want to trust Baumia. You don't want to trust him because he told us, "Are you not here, Umaru?" When he said that he was going to make all roads, you are not going to take loans, you are going to toll roads. Then he came in and abolished the toll booths. He said, "I'm going to construct concrete roads," and he has not done a kilometer, and so on. So all I'm saying is that it's just rhetorics. But you want to be very serious. You want to get into the records, and that is why you think that what is the record between President Mahama, because he's going to fix it. President Mahama and Akufo-Addo now. And so President Mahama, within the 4 years that he unprecedentedly performed over 8,118 kilometers. You get the asphalt, you get the spot improvement. Everything was perfect. As at the time that he left our road system, we have this road condition maze, good, fair, and poor. As at the time he was leaving the road, the 78,402 kilometers, 41% of our roads were good, and 33% of our road was fair. So in actual fact, 74% of our road were more trouble. It was only 26% that was poor.
That's when Mahama left.
Yes. And now,
but how did the roads just all of a sudden, if he had left good roads, what happened?
They never maintain it. We've always been saying that, look, guy, don't rush. There's red fence money, which is called road fund. Use this money to do the pothole patching and all those stuff, and it will be fine. Look, if you don't maintain our road, that's going to be the problem. But they concern themselves with building bridges and overheads and so on, only in the city. Now our roads are bad. We are virtually losing the network. But you see, if you lose the network, it's expensive. The network, roads is capital intensive, and that is for me. That is my worry.
What is your view on toll booths? They've been scrapped. Should they be brought back?
Why not? People are calling for responsibility, because everywhere in the world we toll roads. There's this technology, the e-tolling and all those, and that is why we said, "Baumia, don't get it," because if you know there's e-tolling there, why would you advise the government to abolish toll booths?
Maybe he did not advise the government.
He did. No, but he talks about, don't you know he advised President Akufo-Addo? He's the brain behind everything. He's the brain behind the abolition. He's the brain behind promising the people we are going to toll roads and we are going for loan. He's the brain behind the fact that we are going to do concrete roads. Are you not aware of that?
He was a mate.
Sorry?
He was the mate.
He can never be a mate. He was a spare driver. And he said, spare driver, could you allow your car to be given to a mate? An incompetent and inefficient mate? After 7 years. You can only give your car to a spare driver. So he may have transitioned from a mate to a spare driver. And that is why now the president, not in the country, he has been given the steer to ride. And he's getting us into ditch. There is nothing that you can trust Baumia with. And so all those things that we're talking about, they are in rhetorics, and you don't want to trust it. That is why I'm not trusting this 150 million cedi. It's inadequate, it's insufficient, and they must come again. There's so much money in road fund that is made for maintenance. And so use that money. Can you imagine close to 5 billion cedis a year? Then you are just devoting 150 million. And that is why, you see, it shows Ghanaians that the system has failed. Yeah, you need to go. But the point is that the system has failed. President Mahama will come and fix it. And that is why we said, don't listen to this guy. The best person to come and fix the road, like in the past. You remember in the past, we wake up and you see that asphalt overlay, those people in the cities and everywhere. He's going to fix it. Don't trust Baumia. He's going to mess us up. And he's still messing us up.
Honorable Isaac Ejay Mensah, former Deputy Minister, Roads and Highways, MP Wasa East, a ranking member on the Roads Committee of Parliament. Thank you for joining us on Point Blank.
Most grateful.
My name is Umaru Sanda Amadu. I did this with Akosia Ochri. Production by Kobna Wilson and Beverly London. Technical support from Daniel Squashi.